What's up, DC Nation? Back to another video on The Flash. Now guys, this series has been awesome so far. This final storyline titled Finish Line, and this is actually part 3. Now guys, this previous issue has seen pretty much Flash break free from Reverse Flash having control his body. He has pretty much Bart Allen, aka Impulse. We got Max Mercury, Jesse Quick by his side, and then we got Reverse Flash and all these different villains, including Bloodwork. We got Captain Cold the Turtle, Trickster, all these different villains by his side, Gorilla Grodd. It's gonna be an awesome final battle, but guys, it gets epic in this issue. Like, okay, this story arc's been great so far, but it gets like amazing in this issue, guys. You see so many characters in Flash lore from the comics, past comics, like I'm saying like pre-Crisis, pre-New 52. So many characters. We see like DC 1 million character John Fox, the Flash. Like, if that doesn't give you a drink, like, I don't know what will. But it gets really cool, guys, in this issue. I'm going to explain it all to you, give my thoughts on it. It may be a longer video, depends on how fast I go through this. But guys, before we dive in, I'll actually link below the playlist so you get caught up, so you're not too lost. Because I don't want you guys just jumping in. There's been a lot of stuff going on. This is actually the penultimate issue in Josh Williams' awesome Flash run. So don't just jump in, alright? Check out the previous videos, or at least read the previous comics so you're caught up, alright? But yeah, guys, if you're ready, let's dive into Flash issue number 761. The issue begins in the 853rd century on Mercury. And we see Kid Flash from DC 1 million saying, "What are we doing here, John Fox? Can't I just learn everything about Flash history from Brainwave's holovids?" John Fox, the Flash, says, "Now that you're the new Kid Flash, it's time to show you that when we put on these costumes, we become part of something bigger than us." And that's when this Kid Flash, which by the way, guys, this is the first appearance of this Kid Flash, says, "At least this place is awesome. Whoa, look at it. It's the Flash Museum, guys." And John Fox, the Flash, says, "That is a time imprint of an important moment in our history. It's a day that changed the Flash forever." That's when we go to Central City in the present day now. And we see this awesome double page spread drawn by Howard Porter. Guys, Howard Porter is an awesome Flash artist. But you see the Flash family going against the Reverse Flash family. You see all these villains. It looks really dope, guys. But Flash monologues. He says, "All my life, Reverse Flash tried to hurt me, worked to make me suffer by killing my mother. But that wasn't enough. He wanted my family. He hurt me as well. His revenge was against anyone who ever wore the costume of the Flash. Now he's brought together my greatest enemies from across time, his own Reverse Flash family called the Legion of Zoom, to kill my family and destroy the city I love." There's one thing that Thawne doesn't understand. Never underestimate the Flash family. Now you see Flash, he goes against the Top, which is a Flash villain, takes him down. He says, "Kid Flash, get Iris out of here." That's when Iris is like, "Damn it, Barry, don't." And that's when Wallace West is like, "Got her." So he runs off. We see Max Mercury fight off against Reverse Flash. Max Mercury, such an underrated character, like, okay, in my opinion, like, such an awesome character, and when he shows up, he's just so cool, alright, especially in this scene right here, and more in this comic. But I feel like DC should be promoting him more. Maybe this is like the start of something awesome. We get to see his character more, I hope, because he's probably one of the best Flash family members. You guys tell me down below, is he one of your favorite Flash family members? Is he one of your favorite DC characters? But continue, what we see is Reverse Flash says, "Oh, Barry Allen, Barry, please do send your love away again. Woman shelter first, right? So noble of you. It leaves your family outnumbered against my legion." And that's what Max Mercury says. "We're fast enough to handle your thugs, Earbard." That's what Flash says. "I noticed when you grabbed some of my enemies, you didn't grab any speedsters. What are you afraid of?" And that's actually a really good question. Now, Barry throws Top into Reverse Flash as he says this, but we see his Bloodwork that attacks Barry. Which, guys, Bloodwork is an awesome villain. He says, "Shut up, Flash, always trying to show how much smarter you are than the rest of us. Reverse Flash promised us you're ahead." That's when we see Iris. She's pretty much being run off, but with Wallace out of Central City. She says, "Wallace, stop, look at Central City. It's pretty much having lightning come out of the sky." And Wallace says, "Yeah, I can save you, but this fight is going to destroy Central City. We need to tell Barry." That's when we see the Turtle. He's like, "So much speed, I must have it." And Impulse is like, "Gross." Takes down the Turtle. We see Max Mercury going against Tar Pit. And then we see Jesse Quick. She's taking out these other Flash villains, very obscure villains from like Mark Waid's Flash run. And she says, they're going to overwhelm us. This fight will come down to endurance versus numbers, Jay. That's when we see Jay Garrick taking down villains from the Force Quest, that one story arc, and he says, I've been in fights like this before, Jesse, but never this big, with this level of power. That's when Max Murray says, you both gave me a great idea. That's when he just stops immediately. He says, I need to meditate, which is funny. That's what Impulse says, bar down. He's like, what now? And Max is like, cover me, Impulse. And you see, abracadabra, he comes by Max Mercury. He's like, finally, a stage worthy of my skill, my magic will. That's when Impulse punches abracadabra, takes him out. He's like, I hate magic. And Max Mercury says, feel the speed force, feel our connection as they race along time and space. So guys, imagine being Impulse. You're like, what the heck are you doing? You're meditating right now in this middle of this huge fight. Like, I'd be pretty freaked out, but come on, trust Max Mercury. He knows what he's doing. But what we see, guys, is then we see Reverse Flash. He's fighting off against Jay, and he says the golden age is over, Jay. But we see Impulse, he's fighting off against these villains, protecting Max, and he says Max, and Max says patience. That's when we see Grodd fight off against Barry. He's like, I'll eat your brains, and Barry says, Thawne, this must stop. But we see Max, he's just smiling, he's meditating as all this chaos is going down, but that's when we see Bart. He's like, Max, we're out of time. And Max looks with a smile out in the distance. And somebody says, if there's one thing all our Flashes have in common, it's that we're always a little late to the party. Guys, this part is amazing. Guys, so who we see here? We got pretty much the Renegades in the back. We got Steadfast. We got Exis. We got Jai and Irie West. We got Fuerza. We got Jai Quick. We got pretty much this other Flash who's like a celebrity, which I'll get to her soon. We got Mina, we got the Kingdom Come Flash, and we got Dark Flash, aka Walter West. Now, let's get into this, guys. So, first off, Walter West, holy crap. Like, I got so excited when I saw this. That was the first thing that hit me, right? And he's in, like, the corner of this, like, panel, right? This double page spread drawn by Howard Porter. But it's just so cool he's back. Like, the last time he appeared was, like, a long time ago, right? When Wally West was the Flash, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's a long time. But also, you got Exis, you got Kingdom Come Flash, Kingdom Come Flash, guys, he's awesome. He has, like, pretty much the helmet. He looks like Jay Garrick, but he has, like, a red blur. I honestly hope he's brought to, like, live action, either in the Flash TV show, or maybe, like, a movie eventually, because his design is just so cool. But again, we also got Jai and Irie West, who are pretty much the daughter and son of Wally West, which, if you're a big fan of Wally West, you're like, man, that's just awesome. Like, that was my reaction, because I was like, man, that's so cool. Because, one, Irie West, she's an awesome character that doesn't get, like, she doesn't show up enough. And then Jai having that line saying, oh yeah, us Flashes always show up late. Like, that's just such an iconic line now. And it fits his character so well. Some other characters we got here, guys, is obviously we got Steadfast, right? And Fuerza, which they show up in, like, the Force Quest. Now we got the Renegades, who have shown up multiple times in this whole Joshua Williams Flash run. Now we got Jai Quick, who is actually from like another universe. Now we do not have Jonathan Chambers, because you guys remember in like I think it was a previous issue, like a very recent issue, Jesse Quick told Barry inside like the storyline that Jonathan Chambers is still dead in this universe. Like, technically, oh yeah, he should come back, right? No, he's actually died. He died before the whole New 52. So he's actually dead, but still, we do got Jai Quick, which is cool to see him here, right? But I don't know, it would have been pretty great if Jonathan Chambers actually came back from the dead and showed up like, oh my gosh, the match. That'd be so dope, right? We also got Leah Nelson. Now, this is really cool, guys, because she's actually a really, like, obscure character, right? She's actually from, like, a world, she's, like, a fashion model. I didn't even recognize her in this whole double page spread. I was like, what the heck? Who is this? She doesn't look like a Flash, right? Not at all. But she actually is a Flash. And she's actually one of the most popular heroes on her Earth, along with Adam and Superman. But she's a really interesting character that I actually may dive more into on this channel. But guys, all these characters, actually tell me your favorite ones on this double page spread. Did I miss any? There's actually one character that I'm wondering, who is he? Like, who is this guy? He's right by pretty much Exis and Jai and Irie. He has like pretty much, he obviously looks like a speedster, but I don't know who he is. If you guys can tell me down below, I really appreciate that, because I recognize everybody else on this double page spread, like Dark Flash. Oh my gosh, that I'm still hyped about that. And Kingdom Come Flash. But who's that one guy? Like, is he another old character like Leah Nelson? Because I barely caught on to that, right? I was reading this, I was like, who is that? And then it clicked in. But this other guy I tried looking up, I can't find it, right? So you guys tell me down below who that is. But one character that, oh my, if they would add him in this whole page, that would just make this issue a masterpiece, alright? The Accelerated Man. If he would showed up, come on. That would have been so cool, right? I already think all these characters are awesome, and Joshua Williams already surprised me. Like, he said he was going to bring a lot of characters in. I didn't expect this much. But, like, they would have brought the Accelerated Man in. Like, he's one of my favorite characters, right? He's so underrated. He's so cool. In his appearance in The Flash, he has such a cool design and a really cool backstory, too. And, like, well, he doesn't really have a backstory, but, like, if he was developed more, I feel like he'd be an awesome character. I feel like under Joshua Williams' writing, he'd be really great. Do you guys agree with me? Like, you think Joshua Williams should do actually an Elseworlds story about Accelerated Man? I think he should. Like, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Guys, continuing what we see is then we see Wallace, he's pretty much running with Iris, and he's like, oh wow, hey, so now we have backup, we gotta evacuate Central City. We should split up. Some of us get the civilians. That's when we see Avery Ho, and she says, and the rest of you follow me into the fight. And that's when we see Iris say, Bart, I can't believe you stole my costume. And that's when Bart says, it was mine first, Irie. That's when we see Jesse quick. She's like, nice moves, Avery. And Avery says, you too, Jesse. That's when we see Captain Cold. He's like, who the hell are you? And pretty much Citizen Cold, who was killed by Captain Cold in the whole Rogue's Reign story online, says, revenge is a dish best served cold. Renegades, attack. Which is actually a really cool moment that I can see people overlooking. Because one, like, we remember Citizen Cold getting killed easily by Captain Cold. And we're like, dang it, they just killed off a great character. But seeing him come back and get his revenge is just so cool, right? But continuing, what we see is Fuerza says, step fast, I felt a wave of energy pull us here, Flash. And Barry says, that means you're a family, Fuerza. That's when we see Reverse Flash. He hits Flash in the chest and he says, you dance with the one who brought you, Barry. You and I need to witness this moment together. Have you ever seen anything like this? Everyone here because of me. When Iris killed me, you told me there would never be a Reverse Flash museum. And he continues to say, but look at what I've done. It's always about me, Barry. And he says, me. And Barry says, I know this isn't your final plan, Dawn. This is all a distraction to stop me from solving a murder. Why? And Eobard says, because I've seen your future, Barry, all of it. I dedicate my life to the Flash Museum in the 25th century. He continues to say, I worship you. And what we see is he pretty much worshipped the Flash, and he tried to be like the Flash, but it just failed. And he says, the only way that pain was ever going to go away was if I hurt you. So his whole thing is, pretty much, I was a big fan of you. You just put me to the side. I got mad, and I'm like, the best way to pretty much get revenge on you is to inflict pain on you. Now, he said, but that took work. Insane amount of planning and effort, and I couldn't be everywhere at once. I needed help keeping you and your family busy. So I changed the fate of Hunter Zolom, and I gave the clown the gun that set Hunter on the path to becoming Zoom. He continues to say, then I killed August Hart's brother, planted the black hole evidence so he could go to his good buddy, the CSI, eventually become Godspeed. So, Reverse Flash created two of Flash's greatest villains, Zoom and pretty much Godspeed. This is why Reverse Flash is just the best Flash villain. He's just so cunning, he's so freaking manipulative, and he just plans all this out perfectly. Now, he continues to get into Barry's mind, and he says, then I return to the future and see the changes in the museum, see if my plan was working. Did you really think killing your mother was the end? That would ever stop at making your life a living hell? Wrong, Barry, wrong. He continues to say that you never took the time to learn about the negative speed force, did you? And we see pretty much him putting Jay Garrick into the negative speed force. Now, we see images of pretty much the Bud, Batman, and Flash investigating this. We see Bart showing up pretty much after Wally's death, or pretty much supposed death, showing up to the Flash Museum, seeing Wally and Barry statues. And then we see pretty much when Barry went crazy over the negative speed force, and we see pretty much when Barry had to leave Iris. So many different moments in this whole Flash run. We saw the Flash War, we saw Barry lash out at Wally, and most of all, guys, we see Wally at Sanctuary. Now, this is a deep cut, guys. This is a deep hit, Barry. Like, Barry's like, okay, you do all this bad stuff. I'm used to this. Villains do this all the time. But then you hear that pretty much Reverse Flash planned this out. That no, Wally can't have Sanctuary. He went to Sanctuary, killed people, that whole Heroes of Crisis thing. Oh my god, That had a lot of potential to be an awesome series, but it's just terrible at the end. Like, I not like what they did with Wally. But still, like, with all this playing out, Reverse Flash Peter's like, I caused all this bad stuff to happen to Wally and to everyone around you. That's what Barry says. What? It was you. What did you do? He starts charging Reverse Flash, but Reverse Flash hits him at the neck, and he says, now you get it. I planned for this moment. And he says, I know your every move, your every act, because I have seen your future, and today is the day you lose. But that's when Reverse Flash is hit by a shock of blue lightning, pretty much, and you hear Wally West in the Mobius chair with the Dr. Manhattan powers say, find me, Barry, find me. And Barry smiles, says Wally, and says see in Dark Knight's Death Metal. Now, if you guys want to see what happens with Wally and Barry, the whole pretty much interaction, their reunion, their awesome reunion, then check out my Dark Knight's Death Metal videos. I'll actually link the playlist down below so you guys can check out that awesome storyline and see how Wally is doing, alright? Because they don't really explain here, they just see, hey, go check out Dark Knight's Death Metal, which makes sense because they explain it all in that story. But that's what Reverse Flash says, what? Not again. No, this isn't right. This isn't what happens. This is not what I saw. This is not your future. Things must have changed. Time has changed. I need to know. He starts running. He's like, I need to know. And Barry says, not so fast, Thawne. Now that's when we see Irie and Bart, they're pretty much returning all these kids around Central City, and they're trying to find a way to pretty much take down all these villains. Now, they start like pretty much analyzing this, all the Flash family as they run around, and they come along. Jay starts piecing this together, and the Flash family is coming up with a way to pretty much send all these villains that Reverse Flash took from pretty much all around time back to their regular time. Now, they start talking, they're trying to figure this out. Now, Jay's about to say it and spill the beans. That's when Mac's like, no, Jay, let the kids figure this out. And you see the kids confused, but that's when we see Jai say, oh, we got this. So they decide that they're pretty much going to run around these villains, run so fast and send them back to their timeline. Pretty much change the vibrational frequency, just how Barry did in the starting line. That's a really cool way they do this, guys. You see Wallace, you see Jai and Iris, and you see Bart Allen. They just start running, and they're all ready to go. But before Bart can pretty much run with them, that's when Iris says, Bart, stop, you can't do this. And Bart says, but Grandma. And that's when Iris says, you're not from this time. If your plan works, you might be sent back to the 30th century. That's what Bart says, it's a risk, Grandma, but that risk saves lives and helps our family, and Iris says it's worth it. I know. You always were a brave boy. I love you, Bart. Now run. So he runs off. It's an epic moment, but we see them all start running. Eventually, they send all these different villains back to their timeline. Like, you got a big crack-a-cocoon, and they pretty much, Jay's like, you got this, guys. So they get all sent back, and that's when Walt says it worked. And Jay's like, did everyone make it? And you see Max, he says, see, you gotta trust the next generation, Jay. And Jay says, story of my life. That's when Iris says, Bart. And she runs, hugs him, and Bart's like, you're crushing me. She's like, you're still here. And Bart says, the Speed Force knows this is our home. And he says, but where's Barry? Now we go to the Flash Museum in the 853rd century, and we see pretty much the Kid Flash say, witness it. Get into the fight. Throw a few tornado punches. That's what John Fox says. That day wasn't important because of the fight, Kid Flash. And then watch this all turn out, right? And he could just say, this isn't a good day, it's a tragic day. He says the Flash family won the fight, but the war wasn't over. You see the Flash's plan worked. They sent everyone back to where they should be. Thawne wasn't from that time, but he was inside the time stream when this changes started. He says, but so was Barry Allen, and because of that, this was the last time Barry Allen and Eobard Thawne ever faced. Now you see Barry chasing Eobard through the Speed Force, and he says, I'm going to kill you, Thawne. And that's how the penultimate issue of Joshua Williams' Flash Run ends, guys. So we got one more issue of this Flash Run, and I'm so stoked to see how this turns out, because we have all these heroes together and pretty much beat the villains. We just have the final fight between Eobard Thawne and Barry Allen. We'll see how all this wraps up, and if Eobard pretty much dies, I barely doubt it, but it'd be pretty big if Barry actually does that. But also how Joshua Williams will pretty much wrap up this run. This is an over 100-issue run, and I'm so happy I read this whole thing. It's really awesome, guys, to see all this come together, all this Flash lore come back, and I really gotta say, Josh Williams is an awesome Flash writer. Like, yeah, he's done like some okay comics like Justice League Odyssey or other comics, but I feel like this is his best work in my opinion. And Howard Porter, awesome artwork that conveys all this action, all these epic moments in the best way possible. And that's why I'm gonna give this issue a 9.7 out of 10. I definitely recommend. You're a big Flash fan, you'll love this issue, guys. Tell me in the comments below, back to that one double page spread, tell me how many characters you spot there. So I spotted a lot of them, but there may be like a few I missed. And tell me your theories for next issue. But guys, like to give a big thumbs up, and you sure make sure that's my next Flash comic review. You don't want to miss out on my review and my thoughts on the final issue of Joshua Williams' Flash run. It's gonna be epic, guys. Stay tuned. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.